Hello everyone. I'm really excited to be doing this. My name is Rachel. I am a new YouTuber, so this is my first video with you guys. I'm going to be talking about spiritualism, spirituality, spiritual awakenings, twin flames, self-love, following your intuition, your dreams, your passions, all of that kind of stuff. So, I hope y'all come along with me, like and subscribe, anything if you like it. Gonna start putting a lot more content on here in the next couple weeks or so, so I'm really excited. Just want to give a short shout out to Aaron Dowdy, Victor Odo, Eckhart Tolle. Y'all are a lot of the people. Dolores Canon, may she rest in peace. Those are some big idols of mine. Alan Watts too, but may he rest in peace as well. So just to get started here, my first video, I am going to talk about my spiritual awakening. So try not to make this too long, but I wanted to give y'all a quick piece of why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I've always been more or less awake my whole life. I've always known that there was more to my life. I've always known that I was really drawn to nature and Middle Eastern culture and like having, oh, that's Janice. Say hello, Janice. That's my baby. That's my spirit animal right there. But anyway, so always drawn to those kinds of things, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Especially having like a rough upbringing, usually your suffering brings you into some sort of awakening. So when I was around 18 years old, I got really into yoga and meditation, and it didn't really make sense to me why to get into those things. I just kind of had a pull. Just something in me was like, I want to do yoga. I want to meditate, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. So I am a yoga instructor, by the way. So anyway, I was just getting into those kinds of things, and over the course of going through learning to meditate, it was really hard. At first, it was really scary, actually. It wasn't until the past couple of months that I actually started meditating daily and enjoyed it. It took a while for me to understand that it's actually something that's supposed to be fun, which is something that I learned from Alan Watts. He says that meditation is a sort of grooving with the now, and I love that combination of words, grooving with the now. You're supposed to be enjoying, you're grooving with it, you're enjoying your meditation. So anyway, just this past February, so February 2019, I had what I call my spiritual awakening. So I've always been spiritual, and I've always, been more or less awake. I've always known there's more to life. I've always, been drawn to the esoteric, kinds of things in the world, and it's always been so beautiful to me. But it wasn't until I listened to Dolores Canon, and it was the first time I ever listened to her. My sister was really big on her work, and she was listening to Aaron Dowdy. I don't know if any of y'all listen to him, but he's also really awesome if y'all want to check him out. He had been talking about her a lot, and basically Dolores Canon, she was hypnotizing people in the 60s, and she hypnotized this woman into a past life. And that was like super out of the ordinary back in the day. Like in the 60s, you talk about a past life, someone's like, what does that even mean? Like in the Middle East and stuff like that, like, yeah, it's normal. They talk about that kind of stuff. But in America, you tell someone you hypnotize someone to a past life, they're like, you're crazy. So anyway, she ends up hypnotizing this woman into 5 past lives. And it really takes Dolores. Her husband was doing it with her at the time. He didn't continue to do it with her for as long as she did it, but at the time her husband's with her, the lady that she's hypnotizing also sees Dolores and her husband in the future, and they have grandchildren. So later, a couple of weeks later, Dolores' husband is in this crazy fatal accident. The doctors are like, he's gonna die, there's no way in hell this man's gonna live, like he's absolutely 100% gonna die. And Dolores is like, no, he's not. Like, I've seen him in the future with me, we're gonna have grandchildren, he's not gonna die. Long story short, he doesn't die. And if you want like the full story and everything, like just look up Dolores Canon, she's awesome. And so she goes on to do this for the next 40 years of her life, and she hypnotizes people to this state of consciousness where she can reach their higher self and speak to their higher self. And, you know, she gets all these answers. She asks them all these questions, and they have the same answers. And it sounds the same. They have the same answers. They talk the same, like the exact same answers from thousands of people, like across the globe. This woman is hypnotizing people all over the world and teaching people how to hypnotize people. It's called quantum theory hypnosis technique, I believe. Is what it's called. But anyway, quantum healing hypnosis, not theory. Anyway, so the first time I listened to her, like my sister's telling me all this stuff, like we come from different planets, blah, 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 like we came here from another planet and we incarnated as a human to live this life and to raise the consciousness on the planet. Dolores explains that it's a very special time on the planet right now. There's an ascension happening, so a lot of souls from other planets came to Earth because Earth sent out a signal. She sent out a signal that we were in danger because a bomb went off, and she's like, we're not having it, these people are going to blow me up, right? So she sends out a call to the universe, hey, I need some help. Other people from other planets come to Earth to help with the awakening. So anyway, I think I have some cat hair on my face or something. Sorry, I keep like itching my nose. But anyway, so my sister's telling me all this, and she went through this same thing relatively close to when I did. And anyway, I was like, okay, Elizabeth, that's her name. You're ridiculous. There's no way that that's like what this is. We're born on Earth, like we don't come from other star systems. But anyway, I didn't believe it until I actually listened to Dolores, and I just listened to her. I just listened to this video. I just listened to it. Like I have been listening to plenty of YouTube videos like all the time, and so I just added it into the daily, you know, drive listening to Dolores Canon, and it just like shook me up. I mean, it just resonated. I was like, yes. I just like made so much sense. And that whole day I was in like this sphere of like love and just like high vibe, and I was like feeling it. I went to this club that I would go to here in Dallas, from Dallas, Texas, by the way, Rev Big D. But anyway, so it's called the Green Elephant, actually, and on Wednesdays they host what they call drum jam, and there's like a drum circle and dancing and stuff, and so I like to go dance. And I went, and I was feeling like totally sober, right, but just feeling these vibes, and like, and it's not the first time that's happened to me, but the way it was, like everything was just like lifted. I felt the dimensions, I felt the realities, I felt the energy in such a different way than I ever had before, and I could see energy moving from person to person, and it was incredible. And I was like talking to one of my best friends about it in the car. Like I kept him in my car for like an hour after, just like telling him, oh my gosh, like I can feel it. I can feel myself like moving through realities. I can feel myself controlling the energy around me. Like it was insane. So anyway, that was my day, and ever since then I haven't been the same at all. I love my life like a gazillion times more than I did before. I used to be able to get like depressed and anxious like crazy, and just like super in my head, and all the things that I'd been trying to make sense of, because I knew like how to be present more or less, you know, and like, that's what you do to be less anxious and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I had listened to so much, trying to be less depressed and be less anxious and control my mind and this and that, but I still had like this tension inside of me. And until that moment, it didn't break loose. And not to say that now I don't get anxious or depressed, I do, but there's always this thing that comes out and says, hey, it's going to be okay. It doesn't stay for very long. Might stay for a couple hours, might stay for a day sometimes, depending on the circumstances. But now I know how to ground myself, and I know how to take care of myself. And it's changed my life completely. So everyone has their own method of spiritual awakening. Not everyone's going to wake up when they listen to Dolores Canon. You know, I mean, it happens to everyone very differently. The Buddha woke up a lot of people just by saying simple things. So, anyway, that is my spiritual awakening. It just resonates so hard that we come from somewhere else, and we chose to be here to help the planet ascend. And when I hear those things and I listen to those things, it just, like, I feel more me. I feel more at home, and I feel more alive. And that's you. I mean, you are a beautiful, spiritual, divine, just like love. Like, that's all you are, really. It's just love. And that's what you're made of. And that's what we're all made of. That's why we're all connected, is because we all came from the same source that decided to just burst out and explore the universe. And we come back together, and that's why it's so beautiful, by meeting new people and finding, you know, people that you decided to come here with. You know, Dolores, she talks about soul contracts, that there's this spirit realm that we exist in away from here. So when we come to Earth, we take on a human form. We come inside of a body. So we are the soul or the egg or the light or the source or whatever you want to call it. And we come into this little avatar. What my 3D, like physical skin and everything, that's what I put my soul inside of it. And I can move around and do stuff here on this planet. And it's 3-dimensional. Whereas in the higher realms, things are like, I don't even know, like 20-dimensional. I don't even know. I think that's a word. But anyway, the point is that it's very different here as opposed to where we come from. So when we're up there and we're loving on each other's souls, you know, that's all we're doing is we're hanging out. And we say, hey, you know, I'm going to go to Earth and you're going to go to Earth, and let's be friends when we get there. When we get to Earth, let's be friends, let's hang out, let's help each other through this life. I'm going to teach you this and this and this lesson, and you're going to teach me that and that and that lesson. And either, you know, sometimes soul contracts are like over the span of 10 years. Sometimes they're 2 years. Sometimes it's 3 minutes. You never really know now until it happens, because when we come from the spirit realm, we go through a veil of forgetfulness, and we forget, but we remember, and that is what the spiritual awakening is remembering where you come from. And everyone is that way. Everyone has come from that realm to come here to Earth, because we are all God behind the mask. We are all just beautiful divine energy behind a mask, just playing the game of life. We're just hanging out, basically. And that's another thing that helps me get through anxiety or depression, is remembering that we're just hanging out. That's it. We just came here to hang out and have a good time. We came here with special gifts. Your passions, the things that you are good at, the things you like to do. I mean, there's a reason you're drawn to do those things. You were given a gift when you came here, and you're supposed to share that gift with the world. And I have always liked talking about spirituality and things of the sort, and self-love, all that kind of stuff. And people have always told me my whole life, wow, Rachel, you know, you're so profound with your words, that's so deep, you know, you should talk, you should teach, you should do this and that. And that's really what inspired me to make a YouTube video, especially after I found all of the beautiful spiritual faces that I follow and subscribe to now. I was like, I could do that. And just want to give a really big shout out again to Victor Odo and Aaron Dowdy. They had a webinar recently, and they have a lot of webinars about how to create your own YouTube video and this and that, and the YouTube algorithm and all sorts of pretty little things that they help you with. And they really did help inspire me to do this right now. So thank you both. I love you guys. Yeah, that just about wraps us up. Honestly, that's my spiritual awakening for you. I hope that y'all continue to watch. I'm going to keep putting out content, so if you like me, I like you. I already like you, so I can't help myself. People are like, Rachel, you just love everybody, and I'm like, I know, I just do. I love people. But anyway, thank you so much. Namaste. Y'all have a beautiful day. Stay up, remember who you are, and follow your passion. Hope to see y'all next time. Thank you so much.